Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Views from Drew. We got Eric taking the big swig right there. We got Chris stretch him out. We got Dellz on the top. I shouldn't stay position because it never turns out. It never turns out that way. All right, how you
get it right one day.
How you guys doing? Yeah, you got to be right sometime, right? How you guys doing today? Out of 1 through 10.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at an 8.
Okay.
You always can't complain about anything. We back for another episode. I'm excited.
Okay.
And yeah.
Eric made a lot of money on Doge.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Oh, okay.
What's a Doge? What is that?
Anyway, Christian, how are you?
Oh, okay.
I'm okay. I would say I'm at a 7.
Why are you at a 7? Why not an 8 or 9 or higher?
Well, in 10 days, a very special day is coming up. So,
That is true.
Very special day is coming up.
Mother's Day?
That is true.
DJ, if you're having a stroke, you should go to a doctor and get that checked out. But yeah, I am looking forward to Mother's Day also. So that's pretty much the reason of my happiness. But, I listen to a lot of people's problems and it weighs on me sometimes.
You were born on Mother's Day, right?
I happen to be Mother's Day, yeah, when I'm born.
That's pretty special.
Look at that.
Gotcha.
So when my birthday rolls around, I still have to shell out again.
That's life.
You're a giver.
I mean, my birthday is the day before my grandma's, so it's like no real love there.
Wow,
so
you're saying they skip your birthday and go to your
That's
grandma's?
deep.
It's like, oh, Deli. And then it's like, oh, grandma. More important, she wins.
She gets the majority of the love. She's the highlight.
Yep.
Do you feel any jealousy with that?
That's the matriarch though. You'll get that.
That's a fact. I'm not mad.
Are you sure?
No, I'm sure.
This is a safe space.
I'm sure.
Not really. All our friends listen to this.
You're right. It's not a safe space. That was a setup.
Right. That's the okie doke.
You didn't answer 1 through 10.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with 8.5 today.
Oh snap!
Had a pretty decent day at work. Didn't do much. Fixed a hot dog grill by
You got paid for
myself.
that?
Huh? No, I saved money because I fixed it myself. So I didn't.
Oh. Did they give you like a thank you, pat on the back?
No. I went to my boss and said I need a raise, and he giggled.
He laughed.
Yep.
Okay. That's fair.
That's not funny.
As you guys know, I'm always at a 10. So I'm feeling great. Fantastic. I don't know why the sounds. All right, let's
always
roll.
at a 10.
I mean,
Nevertheless,
Eric,
always at a
week.
10.
Always at a 10.
Okay.
You know what makes me more at a 10 now? There's a J. Cole album on the way. Let's start with
Okay,
that.
does it drop?
March
14th.
14th. Woo!
I have
Well, if you're looking to get me something, that would be real nice since
Happy
you have
birthday,
so
Chris.
much.
You literally have Apple Music. Oh, you don't because you're an Android. Sorry.
I have Apple Music.
We still have access to
because
Apple
I'm not
Music.
a
Don't
sheep.
do that.
Say what?
Nobody want to
Excuse me?
do Apple Music. Spotify all the way. You hear me?
I don't know
Gotcha.
anybody who's Spotify.
I have Spotify.
Spotify
That's
is the way.
unfortunate.
That's
No,
where our
it's not.
podcast is at. So we got to shout that out.
It's on Apple.
They don't
Oh, it's
pay
on
me.
Apple
They don't pay
Podcasts too,
us.
but
They don't pay me. So
Spotify.
I don't have to shout anybody out. If you want
Ladies and
to,
gentlemen,
there you are.
Make sure you tell your friends to check out Views from
I'm
Drew's
just saying.
podcast on Spotify.
Every picture that we've used on Instagram, Views for the Drew, has been from where, Eric?
What?
he doesn't know.
This is the part where you say Spotify.
No, it's not.
Oh, Spotify.
Go ahead, discuss the topic.
Anyhow, J. Cole album coming. It's been a while. What do you guys think
Well, one
it's
is
going to
this his
do?
last album?
Big numbers?
Well,
Say again?
yeah. Is this his last album?
I think he said he had one more. After
Two. He said one more.
Did he say two
after
more?
this?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't know. We have to check that. But what do you, I think it's going to do big numbers.
It's J.
Yes.
Cole, of course.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I had to ask a dumb
everybody here
question.
like J. Cole?
I don't think there's
Of
anybody in
course.
here that doesn't like J. Cole.
Top 10?
Of course.
I don't have a top 10 list.
I don't have my list written out. But
Yeah, I don't have a written list.
I
For
enjoy
me, he's
listening
up
to
there.
him more than most.
Maybe, possibly.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Possibly.
If we said Drake, there's mixed
Number one
emotions and feelings about that.
He is
But we
actually
ain't
not my
talking about
number
him.
one.
Really?
Talking
No,
about J. Cole.
Who's your number one then?
Jay-Z.
it's actually Jay-Z.
Like, I mean, like, are we talking like that you like to listen to, or
It's
like
only
all time?
right.
All time for me.
It's only
Okay,
right.
that's different. J. Cole is not in my top 10 of all time. That's good.
Oh, was that not what he was referring to?
No,
I
I
thought
thought he was referring to like maybe right now or
Right now.
Even right now, he wouldn't be top 10.
In general.
I mean, right
Maybe.
now.
I don't know. I don't know that. I don't have a list, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not.
on
I'm not
episode
gonna
3, folks.
I'm gonna backtrack. Are we gonna make a list? Ooh, list.
List for episode 3?
Oh God,
Relax.
Off the top of my head
list.
right
I'm
now, I
throwing y'all
can't make a
softballs
list.
and y'all missing, man.
I don't play
I could
baseball.
say a few people.
Yeah, I couldn't make a list.
Softball.
I don't have a bat.
Okay, do you
It's
guys
okay,
like the album
Christian.
cover?
I'll say Kendrick Lamar,
There was that
P
the album
Smoke,
cover.
J. Cole, of course.
Oh,
But I can't give you any more.
Kendrick album
I mean, Jay-Z is up
possibly
there.
on the way.
We don't know that.
We don't know, but I'm assuming.
Why?
I'm
Eventually.
speculating because
There's
TDE
mad
puts
people
on
from
online
TDE that didn't drop
5-7.
in
So in
forever.
3 days.
But who
Today.
out of that whole camp, who do you think people care about the most besides SZA
All of
and
them.
Kendrick? You think?
All of them.
Come on now, can we be realistic, please?
Okay,
don't
Absol
know.
probably the least.
But
but
on
all
Friday,
of them.
TDE is releasing something. That's what the
All
hype
of
is
them?
about.
Who's not great from TDE?
I didn't say they're not all great. I said
Who do
when
you
it
feel
comes
like
to
people don't care
public,
about?
anybody that's not named SZA or Kendrick.
Schoolboy? Schoolboy has good drops.
Maybe,
Maybe.
but he has a more niche market, I would say, compared to a SZA and a Kendrick.
True.
Am I wrong in my assumption?
True. I
Thank
feel like it's going to be Absol because
I doubt it's going to be Absol because why would they hype up
Why
Absol?
fucking
No
not?
offense to Absol, but I don't think that they would make a big deal about Absol.
When's the
No
last time-
offense. No,
when's the last time Ab dropped? Like 20.
I'm going to be honest. This is not to sound disrespectful in any fashion, but who cares? Who cares?
Um,
In the grand scheme,
ain't no way that don't sound disrespectful.
I don't.
Okay.
That's like
Who
the
cares?
warning shot before you sound disrespectful. I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but
But who the fuck cares?
who
I
cares?
didn't add to see. He added the fuck. I didn't say fuck. I'm just saying in the grand scheme,
Okay.
in mass appeal.
If it's Absol,
Absol,
if
is
it's
not-
Absol,
that's
owe me
crazy.
$20.
That's
I
your
don't
opinion.
bet.
That's a bet.
Yes,
your
that is
opinion,
again. That is my opinion. It is not
That's a bet.
fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a bet.
I never said bet.
Yes, you
It's on the
did.
record. I never said bet. Never said bet.
It's on camera. You
It's-
recorded
yeah, it is. We can. All right. I never said bet. But
Another video we got to wait till 2 a.m. to research. Go on.
yeah.
Lord of
Go ahead.
Lord.
So J. Cole, we're excited for it. It's going to do big numbers, obviously, because it's J. Cole. I hope it's a pretty lengthy project. I mean, no more basically like 13 tracks, but it's been a while, so I would like to hear a lot of. I wonder if he has features. Definitely, probably features, right? Well,
himself.
it doesn't have to be definitely because he's definitely done albums.
He usually features himself.
I'm just ready for new music because I feel like it's been a drought when it comes to the big artists that I really want to hear from.
And who's that?
So I'm not going to say any names on the podcast.
Well, why not? Drake, Kendrick,
I mean, that's goes.
Cole.
I see. If when you ask me my
Can't even get-
opinions
you
on
said-
certain,
You said the magic word. He can't even get his sentence straight.
no, you can't. When you ask me about certain people, my opinion for them might not be the popular opinion.
Bro, we're not asking. We're asking you for who you
I want Drake. Yes. Pause.
Wow.
But
How old are we?
I'm just
Wow.
I'm definitely not. I can be honest and say I'm honestly not looking forward to Kendrick.
Interesting.
I'm not a Kendrick fan.
Yes, you are
Yeah,
not,
you
and I
whack
don't know
for
how
that.
you're not. But okay.
Wow,
So
I didn't see
moving on.
that coming.
Who else you looking for?
You are very whack for
This
that.
is why he don't want to make a list,
on,
because he
man.
know
Look at
to
my
the
camera.
people he gonna
It's gonna
sound
be a
wild.
crazy list.
As long as you don't have that Funk
I'm a-
Master Flex special, you'll be all right.
I feel like if I made a list, I would alienate a lot of people. But I mean, SZA, Drake, I'm fine. I mean, I love SZA, great music. So I mean, as long as it's SZA or I guess Kendrick, I mean,
You don't.
I'm
want
excited.
To.
I'm excited for his fans that maybe it's a Kendrick album because I know a lot of people have been waiting.
Will you
for
listen to it though?
Yeah, yes, I would listen to it.
Do you listen to every Kendrick album? Like, do you give it a shot?
I don't. Yeah.
Have you ever listened to a Kendrick album front to back?
Yes. No.
Which one?
I have not. No, I've never listened to a front to back Kendrick album except the Black Panther soundtrack, which might as well just be a TDE.
Yeah, it is a TDE compilation.
Compilation. That was good. So
it was great.
That was good.
I mean,
most things.
Absol was not on there.
You sure about that?
No, I'm not. But I don't remember hearing him. So yes,
people only give Absol verses. Okay.
All right. So, what you guys want to talk about next? We can go to. I mean, some of this stuff is dark, so I don't know if you guys want to keep it light.
I mean, might as well continue music until we,
Okay, we can roll. Let's roll into the Jay-Z.
What's your favorite guy?
Top. Yeah, you. Jay. Man, he's done it again.
Oh,
he's done it again.
You saw that reaction? Yeah, the moment.
Man, because it's like I just like the way he moves around the industry. You know what I mean? It's like
you scared me when you said that.
What?
I thought you were going to go in a different direction when you said that.
I don't want to know. So
you don't.
He again has sold, I think, the major stake in Tidal to Jack Dorsey. So I believe Jack Dorsey now owns in its entirety Tidal. I think at one point he sold like a portion, but I guess he can sell the other half to Jack. What do you think? Well, one, how do you feel about
80% of shares, 80% of control?
80%? Okay. How do you guys feel about the move? And then for my secondary question, where do you see Tidal going after the move, after the deal?
I mean, for me, I'm not completely excited about the fact that Jay-Z himself gave away his majority shares in a music platform that he helped create. I would have wanted him to keep that for himself and his family and just artists or musicians. But business is business, and he always makes the right moves. And I'm pretty sure it's something more coming of that.
Definitely.
What I see happening with Tidal, I mean, that platform is more so for artists specifically, right? So underground artists, you get to control your music on that platform and you keep ownership of that. Unlike any other platform where they're taking percentages from you or at a higher rate, I believe. And I think something is to come of that. They're probably going to join that with Twitter in some way, and I don't know, but something is to come of it. It's a good move, but again, I didn't like the fact that Jay-Z showed the majority of his shares to somebody else. Should have kept that.
Do you guys also feel? Yeah. Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes,
I'm only going because I read into this a lot when it first was brought up. When everybody, they were saying what other artists sold with him, and
but he's getting a chair.
He's getting a chair in Twitter,
a chair seat or something to that effect.
Yeah, so he basically sold
again, a smart move.
The majority of his stuff, but he's still part of Tidal, but he now has a seat at the table in a bigger
for Square and Twitter as well, right?
Yeah, Square, Twitter. So I mean, it's a smart move. learned to never doubt Jay-Z's movements. After the backlash for the NFL move, which was a great move to me in the end. So to me, I always feel like Jay-Z has a bigger plan in mind when he makes moves like this.
We don't necessarily have all the information from behind closed doors.
We won't know until we know, unfortunately. So I think Tidal is going to go further than what it is. I'm not a Tidal person. I had Tidal probably for 2 months.
I still pay for Tidal even though I don't use it.
I don't use it. I'm pretty sure my music is probably on there or probably not. I don't know. So I mean, I hope the best for Tidal. I would like to see what happens, and I believe it's going to go and do great things. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Christian, any feelings towards it?
I agree with both Eric and Dellz, really, especially with Eric. I would have loved to see him keep it and grow it for himself rather than selling it off to someone else. But I understand, that's the nature of business. You get a business to a certain point, you either stick with it or you sell it to make the maximum amount of money that you can. But as far as like the streaming service itself, I could see Tidal moving in a direction of trying to get more artists like exclusivity, giving people a reason to buy Tidal perhaps over other streaming services. But it's still the same game all around. I'm not really a Tidal person myself. I tried it out, but it's not really for me. But I enjoyed Spotify.
It wasn't user friendly to me.
A little bit more organized.
But when you guys say that, what do you mean? Like it's not necessarily for you guys. Like what about it doesn't work for you?
Me, it's the user interface, but that's just a nitpick.
Okay.
Same, I agree. I didn't like the user interface. And I feel like when Tidal first came out, it was pretty limited to this artists that were on Tidal. It wasn't everybody on Tidal. Like if you were on Spotify or Apple Music, you have majority. I mean, if you wanted to listen to everything Jay-Z or everything Beyonce, it was there and not on everywhere else. But other than that, it was pretty limited to me.
But that changed over the years.
No, I mean, it did,
changed.
but I didn't go back. That's the thing. It's like I don't see myself going back right now, like to retry it.
I did, and I would, because of what Chris just said as far as exclusivity. There's certain videos, interviews, and I guess even shows performances that they do that's exclusively on Tidal and is specific to that. That's not available anywhere else.
Yeah,
I
Like
don't
when,
feel like they
um,
market that very well.
Like when
Not
Tiana
even.
Taylor, for example, when Kanye dropped, what was it, Faded? That was exclusively on Tidal. Like they do that, and then eventually it goes on to other platforms. But yeah,
I mean, like Money
I
and
enjoy
Violence was
Tidal.
on Tidal.
I don't have any complaints about it.
Yeah, I had Tidal for Money and Violence, and that was pretty much it.
Well, hopefully the bigger play will soon be well, not soon, but we'll see why they moved in this direction.
You didn't say how you feel about it, sir. Always trying to avoid that.
All right now. All right, so me, I paid for Tidal because it is black owned. Well, was black owned. So I would just throw my little $10 at it, just to support the artists and stuff. What it represented. Do I find myself using it? No, I'm more of a.
But I'm sorry, it still is black owned though. Like all the other musicians still have their stake in that company.
No, they don't.
It's just Jay-Z.
They sold their stock.
No,
They
he sold
their
everybody.
stakes.
Nah,
I
I don't.
You paid them
I gotta
out.
look
He
into
paid
that.
them.
He paid
I
everybody
gotta look
out.
into that.
He paid them out.
I
But
gotta look
I
into
mean,
that. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, when
that was
when they
that was
first
a couple
announced
months
it.
ago. When
Yeah,
they first did.
then
They
they said
sold
it
the
was
first half.
Nicki, Kanye, Beyonce,
There's a bunch of people.
Tiana,
Yeah.
Rihanna.
He gave them about 11 million each, I believe, if I remember correctly.
I gotta look that
Okay,
up. Go ahead, DJ. Go back to what you were
where was
saying.
I? Oh, so most of my music anyway is on my Apple Music. So for me to switch to Tidal would be kind of an inconvenience in a way, because I like the way Apple kind of curates their playlists. So to go to, I'm used to that So to switch it up and be like,
Pretty
all right,
organized.
now I'm on Tidal. It's like, oh, where am I? Where do I go? Where do I click? Like things like that. I mean, I don't want to make excuses because the same music that's available on Apple is also available on Tidal now. But I just got comfortable with Apple Music, so I just stuck with
You're
Apple
lazy.
Music. Wow. Okay. To answer the other topic, where do I see it? I think there's always a bigger play with Jay, and it normally takes years for people to see why he did that move. Like the whole Barclays thing, people didn't like that, but it brought jobs to the community, kind of uplifted the property value, and brought more attention to Brooklyn that wasn't there before. It brought a whole franchise that's thriving right now.
Yeah, I was just about to say
Yep.
that. People actually care about the Nets now.
So I mean,
Casually, but people still care about the Nets.
and there's a whole like events there. I think they just had, the DMX memorial there. So just things like that. It just brought another energy to the city. Same thing with the let's say Duce. Henny, I don't know if it's a New York thing, but Henny Palooza, it used to be Henny Palooza. They started off, little house parties, and now they're on the grand stage with Duce Palooza. But the reason they're Duce Palooza now is because when they asked Henny for an endorsement, we're throwing these parties, he's pretty popular. Henny kind of said like, no, like that's not what we're into. But Jay was like, I see what y'all doing out here. I'll give y'all the Duce. Just throw Duce Palooza. So now it's Duce Palooza, and they just performed also at the Barclays. Sold out the Barclays with a thing that started as a house party in the Brownstone in Harlem.
Fact.
So just stuff like that. Like Jay's always ahead of the game. So
And now Jay-Z has
I'm
a
sure
partnership
this move is gonna.
Hennessy.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't.
business mind.
You can never count him out. So any move he makes, there's a reason, but we just ain't seen it yet. So that's how I feel about it.
Touche, sir.
So here we are. Yeah, welcome. Yeah. Thought you was gonna catch me with my pants down. Nope. We can roll into.
Alrighty then. What?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the expression that was on Harry's face.
All right. Since we're talking about legacy, how do you guys feel about? Do you think death makes you more of a legend, or does it elevate your artistry? Like, why is it normally how artists that aren't normally listened to while they're here, and then they pass away tragically, or some type of natural causes, or just freak accident, things like that. All of a sudden, people realize how great they were. Were they always that great, or was it the death that made them great? If that sounds bad, I don't mean to.
It's not supposed to sound bad, but I mean, it's something to talk about because it's kind of like, how do you consider someone a legend or so great if they have one body of work, two bodies of work?
But then while we're here, before we move on,
the impact that body of work has on the culture.
Yeah, but like let's say I have one good body of work, right? And then I put out 5 other projects that tank. I'm not seen as a legend for my one body of work because I put out 5 bombs. Well, 4 of the bombs. Now, if I did one body of work, 2 bodies of work, and then I passed away and I never had to put out another track in my life, I'm considered something great. Like,
all right, before we move off of
know.
this, allow me to play devil's advocate. I in no way mean this or feel this way, but this has always been in my mind. How do we consider Lauryn Hill to be such a great artist with one album, and she hasn't done anything since, but we still regard her as one of the best artists?
She has, though. But again, my point, the impact that one body of work had on the music, the culture of music.
Yeah,
she was with the Fugees as a solo artist. The impact that had on many artists that came after her
not only
was significant.
Yeah.
What she did as far as being a singer and a rapper, like that wasn't a thing back then. And again, that one project had longevity.
There's people that do that also, though.
I agree with
That
Eric.
has an impact at the level of Lauryn Hill. No,
I agree with
I
Eric.
disagree.
I agree.
But why not?
I think the miseducation of Lauryn Hill is like one of the. To me, it's like one of the greatest albums, regardless of genre, like of all time.
Yeah,
Because
Okay,
it
I'm
hits
not-
so many different genres. And no, let me finish. And I'm
No,
not
no.
saying like you guys are trying to disparage it or anything like that, but that one body of work like transcends so many different genres and hits so many different like avenues
Yep.
of music. And like like even outside of her like recorded aspects, like her songwriting credentials are like insane. Like how many artists that are out today could say that they wrote songs for like Aretha Franklin? She wrote the song "A Rose Is Still a Rose." A lot of people don't realize that. That's why she's in the video. But her like body of work outside of recording is huge. So like for her like to be the example, she transcends just like having just one body of work because like her body of work is expanded outside of what you hear her sing.
Mhm.
It's like Neo, for example. Neo has 2 albums like that I consider that's like absolutely like amazing, but he writes
His
so many
first two?
songs for
Yeah.
his first 2 albums I think are absolutely amazing, but he writes songs for so many people that he literally like if he didn't record like if he recorded one album, he probably could just like flex off saying
Stick to
like, oh, I wrote this
songwriting.
song. Right. He
Mhm.
could flex off songwriting.
Yeah, but question. All right, just to that aspect, right? So his first 2, Neo has probably what, like 7 albums out? 6?
So which I like. Don't get me wrong. I just want to say
No,
like
no,
his
I'm
first
saying,
2
but,
albums
like,
to me is like
yeah, his first 2 were amazing.
right. It's like
But then, like,
yeah.
it's not even like it's not even that, I don't even feel like he fell off. But, like, when you keep putting out bodies of work, it's harder to match, like, your first 2, your first 3, because it's different. Like, either you're going to be talking about extremely different stuff that people are probably not relating to that you're going through now, so it doesn't hit the same. But, like, do you feel like his later body of work diminishes who he is as an artist because they don't leave that same impact on you as the first 2?
Not really, because
Nope.
I think like when you get to a certain point, like you're allowed a little bit more creative freedom. Like, and I don't mean to sound like I'm changing the subject or whatever have you, but take Kanye for example. Kanye released College Dropout and Late Registration, and then he switched his sound completely.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Graduation, 808 Heartbreaks, and a lot of people. I love 808 Heartbreaks personally, but a lot of people don't like it because it's a totally different sound that they weren't used to. But then he was able to take that sound and then like go on to bigger heights. And I think, like personally, I think
But
Graduation is like
as a creative, you want to change your styles. You want to do
yeah,
that.
like you don't want to stick to the
explore
same type of
and
style,
test things
No,
out.
I
Yeah.
agree.
right?
As a
Absolutely.
creative, I mean, I agree.
But to your point though, I get what you're saying because like it could be a fear for a lot of artists to change their style because they don't want to alienate like their listening base or whatever have you. So
Yeah,
it's,
like
it's a big
you're
risk.
taken away from, like, there's people now who'd be like, oh no, I can't mess with Kanye. Kanye is different.
I could understand that. I could.
So it's like, do you feel all right? So like Kanye would probably be a great example. Like he had his first 2 albums classic. Third album, I love it. He went to 808 Heartbeat. People was like, ah. Then he did.
I
What was
like
that? Dark Twisted Fantasy. Is after
That
that?
Was that after 808?
That was a great album. Yes, I feel like
we're
Dark
missing
Twisted
one, no?
Fantasy is what?
Are we missing one in between 808 or is it right to Dark Twisted Fantasy?
I can't remember the exact.
No,
It's probably the good music album, but that's not his
Graduation.
Yeah.
808.
And then there's
But
Dark
go ahead.
One.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Dark Beautiful
Saint Pablo.
Fantasy.
That was I like Saint Pablo.
Life of Pablo, you mean?
Life of Pablo, my
yeah,
bad.
State of Pablo. But like
I
even
said
like
Saint Pablo.
as Kanye moved up, he went for different demographics. Probably after the third one, it was different. And then Dark Beautiful Fantasy was probably towards the same
My
as
Dark
808
Twisted
Heartbeats,
Fantasy.
but different. And then it was
Branched out a little bit more.
What was that one when
I think now that we're going through the Kanye discography, I've only disliked one Kanye album his entire career.
What was that?
That last one.
Oh, Jesus is King.
Jesus is King. Did you like what's the one with Black Skinhead and
Yes, Jesus.
Jesus, yeah. You like
Yes, I like Jesus. Yes.
That's interesting. A lot of people don't.
I like Jesus. I like all of them except
I do.
Jesus is King, which sounds terrible.
So Dellz, you were saying how he went for a certain demographic. I feel like what really happened, or the foundation in that, was what headspace he was in. That changed the type of music he made per album. What was it? 808 and Heartbreak. His mother died. Mm-hmm. That completely shifted him. And then moving forward, whatever headspace he was in, his sound changed. The album before, what is this, Jesus King, this gospel album? Mm-hmm. He discovered that he had bipolar, and according to all this bullshit, he's trying to say he doesn't. But again, his music, and you can just tell by his interviews and the way he speaks, something is off or different about him. So, of course, his creative mind is different compared to what late registration or graduation or earlier.
Okay, but my question is, does that take away from his grand?
To me, it doesn't.
I think it adds to it.
That, like this person, people evolve, people go through shit, but I'm not going to let what recently happened change what I think of them as an artist. I'm going to always go back to the beginning.
So I want to add one thing before you. I don't mean to cut you off, BJ. I just want to add one thing.
That's fine.
Jesus is King. Jesus is King was completely different from anything he ever did before. How many rap artists do you know? And I'm not putting stock into the Grammys because I think award shows are largely subjective and stuff like that, whatever have you. But how many rappers do you know win Grammys for contemporary Christian and gospel and stuff like that? He would be the first.
Hip hop,
right? Yeah. It adds to his legacy. Mm-hmm. I think if you're able to switch genres and switch gears that successfully, I think it only adds to your legacy.
So how do you feel about Snoop Dogg's gospel album?
I
never heard that.
Different strokes for different folks. I don't think it was for him. We went to Snoop Lion, he did reggae. I didn't think it was for him. But that's just me.
All right, so we kind of drifted away from the original topic, which was death. I try to bring it back in. Can you guys name someone?
Death is legendary status of an artist being alive versus passing.
XXX Tentacion.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Pop Smoke, I think even if he was alive, that album was great. The
album was great.
To me, Pop Smoke is not a legend. That's not a legend. He's not a legendary musician. To me,
I mean,
I'm going to argue against his point.
He just made.
I don't think he's legendary either.
He just made a good project or two that people like. Legendary status?
Yes, because he changed the sound of music in New York. He brought the whole grime scene to New York City and made it the most popular sound that is being replicated to this right now. Yeah. Right now,
people hold him.
Everyone is Pop Smoke's child right now.
Wait a minute. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, and I think you're correct. He's introduced an entirely new sound to a region that didn't have that type of sound. But I think it's a little too early to call him a legend. Let's see how long this lasts.
How long can it last?
I don't think it's going to last that long.
That's a good question. We got to wait and see. It's still fairly new.
It's been like 2 years. It's been like 2-3 years.
That's not a long time.
3 years. Ain't nobody going
for music. Yes, that is.
That's not a long time in music.
That's a long. Exactly.
He gonna get energy.
He did all that without an album.
He was a one.
As far as the sound is concerned, 2 or 3 years. That's not a very long time.
Music wise, yes, that is. In today's music, to change the sound of music right now, music moves very quickly.
I'm saying,
what's in next month will be out next month.
I'm a music minor. I don't have to be lectured on the music moves really quickly.
Then you're not even realistic right now.
I'm gonna let y'all go.
He did all of that without an album.
So if
he made all that noise without an album.
And all of that is
So you mad
okay. I
loud,
can see
bro.
your point a little bit now, a little bit clearer since you said that, because that is pretty remarkable that he did do all that without an album. So you do have an excellent point. But if this sound fades away
After 3
in the
years,
next 2
nobody
to
talking
3
about that, man.
years, is it looked at as legendary, or is it looked at as a
Nope.
fad? That's my question.
Well, the thing is, does Pop
Nope.
Smoke looked as a legend? No one's gonna ever forget
To
Pop
me,
Smoke.
hell no.
I think because of his death, it does put him in sort of a legendary pedestal that can't be touched.
There's a lot of examples like that. I mean,
I'm
of a
not
lot
gonna
of
say
artists
the
that
word.
have like short.
I don't think
shelf life.
legacy is the word. I think probably somebody that's notable. Is that the word? Like somebody that
Popularity, I
people
think.
remember. Yeah.
Is,
So you think? So question
Legend?
again.
Nah.
in
So
the
can you say
topic
that
of-
about Biggie?
Touche.
Biggie, of
bro.
course, is a legend.
Biggie
What you
had
talking about?
one album out,
One album.
Another
Two.
person that
Two albums.
changed
Second album
Two
recorded.
album, but he
his
died before the second
project,
came out.
changed the culture. Like the impact he had on the culture.
How did Biggie change the culture?
Wow.
Had
Who else
longevity.
changed the culture in New York City with one album?
Bro, Pop Smoke did not change nothing, bro.
Yes,
changed the
oh
culture.
my god!
I don't think he changed. To me, that's my
Yes, he
opinion.
did.
Eric, if you go outside in the summer, this summer, you could go outside this summer. Pop Smoke will still be played. This summer.
All right, in 3 years, that's not going to be the case. After 3 years, nobody going to be speaking about this
when
man
did
like,
Pop-
yo, his album was crazy. Ain't nobody talk, for example, saying Pop Smoke is in the lane with fucking Biggie, Pac, or somebody that has a crazy impact, Lauryn
agree.
Hill. Like, ain't nobody
Kids of
talking
this
like that.
generation,
He just,
the
like,
kids of this generation don't revert this Pac and Tupac as their legends.
They don't.
all right.
It's all
But I'm saying,
generational.
so I just wanted to say something earlier to one of the questions. I feel like it's an attention span thing. People attention spans are so short now because of how people are receiving stuff, videos, short clips, Instagram. So for right now it's hot, and 6 months to a year, it's forgotten, and the people are moving on. That's what people attention spans is now, right now, and that's why albums are a lot shorter. For example, a lot of music albums are now 10 songs. They try to keep it at 30 to like 45 minutes versus back in the day with skits. Probably an album long type shit. People attention spans is completely different now.
Can I say something about that real fast? Albums are shorter because you don't get paid. You don't get paid for all the songs anymore. So
I know that
artists
that's
feel
10
like they
songs,
don't
but
have
I'm
to.
saying people's attention spans are shorter now. That's why
I mean, I
albums
listened
are
to
so
Lil
short.
Wayne's whole album, and that was a pretty long album. But yeah, I'm not
The
the
attention
youth.
span has changed because of how
I'm a
people
pretty old
receive
guy.
media now.
I still
Everything
think
is like short.
I still think with this example of Pop Smoke, I still think it's too early to tell. I'm not willing to give him legendary status yet, or whatever have you.
that's
Influential, yes. Influential,
When Eric
yes.
this clip, I'm pretty sure
Legendary,
there'll be a lot of debate.
time will tell. If this really like endures, because like look at something like disco. Disco was a decade, so it's like as far as like that's why I say like 3 years as far as like a sound is concerned is not really a long time. Nobody's making disco records now like regularly and selling disco music. So it's like, some of those artists legendary? Absolutely.
All right.
But that sound doesn't endure.
What about Migos?
They changed music. They had a big impact. What about them? They are legendary as a group.
How?
Because they changed
too
the
wasn't
sound
on
of
that day.
music.
I wouldn't
And what they've done as far as
legendary,
being a
but-
group, where they started, and the influence they have right now.
Okay,
I
I
feel
don't
like
know
that's
what
a
your
legendary
criteria
group.
is for legends, Eric. I feel like Migos, great group, amazing group, changed the sound of music. Are they legends yet? No, I won't call them legends yet. Not yet, because to me, it's because they're still putting out stuff, and it's just like, bro, maybe you just got lucky on one.
But that's not the
I love-
case.
I love
Anything they
Migos.
put out, like people are
I'm
looking
talking
for.
about one full
I
body
just
of
feel-
work. As a full
I
body
just
of
feel
work,
like with
I feel like the Migos
sound, like-
never get big.
That too.
sound is like so influential. Like anybody could copy a sound, but it's like that doesn't mean it's always a good replica of it. Like if you look at like music history, like all types of people, like take like Elvis for example. People find Elvis to be legendary. You know how many songs he stole from like lesser known black artists, and stuff like that. And they don't get any credit for it. He didn't create that sound, but he's the legend from it. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, just because you start something doesn't necessarily make you a legend or whatever have you, because you may not get the recognition for it.
And here comes Pop Smoke. The sound that Pop Smoke brought to New York is not from New York. It's from London. And he brought that grime sound to New York City and made it the most popular sound in New York City for the last 2-3 years.
When anybody sounds like Pop Smoke or raps like Pop Smoke, people compare them to Pop Smoke. And that's...
I feel like he gets compared to 50.
So because he's the one who broke out with that. So he's the one who broke out mainstream with that sound. So if somebody comes out with grime music that's better than Pop Smoke, are people going to remember Pop Smoke?
Yes.
You have to reference Pop Smoke when you have to.
Yeah. I don't see how you.
But if everybody's doing it, doing it.
Literally any New York artist you name right now that's popping up on the scene is Pop Smoke's child. You got two G's, CJ, all of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
Why are you yelling?
I'm not yelling.
He ain't a legend. Move
all
on.
of them.
I'm just saying.
He ain't no legend.
I still say it's too early to tell personally. I mean,
so what about...
That's just me.
What about X? Not DMX.
Wait, DMX?
Sorry. No, not
I'm
DMX.
talking about XXX.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Are you? Which one?
I mean, there's a couple we can draw from. You got X. You got Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD was fucking amazing.
I thought he would have been big.
Juice WRLD.
He was continuing emo rap. I think there's a market for that.
Do you not say that Juice WRLD's king of emo rap? There's people now that's doing songs and just taking clips of Juice WRLD and putting it on their song.
What about Cudi?
Cudi?
Cudi was doing emo rap before Juice.
That's put me in the bind, Chris.
So is Cudi a legend?
His impact on the people who follow him, he had an amazing impact. Cudi, I believe for the people who follow an artist like that, I believe he is, because he's the brainchild of all these new artists who make that kind of music.
What?
Like what you were saying.
I'm out of here. What? You literally just described Pop Smoke.
How are we getting back here again? Eric don't feel like Pop Smoke.
My opinion.
Oh my! How can you give cut the
Pop Smoke to me is not a legend. Just move on. Like, it's over. Like, I'm not about to go back and forth and compare artists, because we got to get back to the original question, which is as far as legendary status, death, being alive, like all that stuff. Like, let's go back to that question. Y'all just bringing up artists now.
Even before we go back to that,
it's the same question.
Even before we go back to that, like, are you saying like there should be some type of universal criteria when, like, for those examples? Because it's like, Cudi does a lot more stuff other than just introducing that sound. He produces for a lot of people too.
He did a lot of acting as well.
So,
but I'm just saying, if we're gonna the example he just said, he's the brainchild for a whole culture. What? Okay, but we can move on.
I mean, Lupe Fiasco, legend. Eric,
I didn't hear you.
Lupe Fiasco, is he a legend?
Underrated. Super underrated.
Oh, I got one for you. I got one for you right now. Big L, legend.
That's
that was
he would have been.
How do you know that?
He would have been. I feel like he would have been had he keep. Okay, let me say this: had he keep releasing music at the same trajectory as far as like quality is concerned, he would have been. I think that's fair to say. You can say that in athletics about people, right? For example, if somebody doesn't get hurt,
Brandon
they keep
Roy.
producing. Yeah, Brandon Roy. That's exactly who I was thinking of. If Brandon Roy, for example, doesn't have bad knees and he continues the trajectory of his career that he was going at, he probably would have been a Hall of Famer, because he was making all-star teams and whatever have you. It was making like all NBA teams and whatever have you. So he would have been a legend. I think that's fair to say about Big L if he would have
But my thing is,
if he would have been
But
alive
it-
long enough
but-
to release
but-
music in the same trajectory.
But due to that criterion, you know what happened to them. Knowing the trajectory that they are on, can you not give them like an honorary, I guess, in a sense, honorary legendary status? Because you know what they would have done.
but you don't.
Well, I mean,
I feel like with that question,
You got to
but
pace
with
it off
Big
of
L,
what they have
depending on
left,
who
right?
you ask,
The same
depending
thing
on
with
who you
Biggie.
ask, they consider him a legend. Depending on who you ask.
So depending on who you ask, Pop Smoke is a legend.
it's
I
a
rest my-
subjective.
I rest my case.
No,
That's it.
he's right. DJ's right.
He
It is a
always gonna come back
subjective-
to that.
It is
Yeah,
it is a subjective.
Because you got to go. You got to bring it
Conversation,
full
I guess.
circle. Full
It is a
circle.
subjective conversation. We didn't even start with our circle. We were talking about if death makes you, and then you brought up Pop Smoke, and we totally veered off.
No,
'Cause
we
you
went
had an
on
agenda.
Hill, and then we went. I did not have an agenda. I'm
You
just
had an
saying.
agenda.
You just stuck
I
to
did
Pop
not.
Smoke. Like, let that go.
Because this is, I mean, there's several other artists we can put, but Pop Smoke was the primary because we are pretty much New York biased,
He's the most recent.
and we're pretty New York
Primarily,
biased. So we know when we reference artists, most of our audience is probably from New York, so they're going to know the names that we're talking about. So I mentioned Pop Smoke. There's other, artists from a bunch of different regions. New Orleans, Atlanta, different ones that have died early that probably had the impact to go somewhere.
I'm glad that you brought this up because this example could be even used outside of music. So you take a look at, and of course, you take a look at like Vincent Van Gogh, for example. Nobody knew who he was until he died, and all his paintings became like worth millions of dollars. So it's like, had he had been alive, would he still have that same like reverence, fame? It's a good question. I honestly, the way things were going, probably not. But death has a funny way of putting people on a pedestal. We'll talk about somebody if they happen to pass. So
That's all I'm saying. I guess to keep it kind of dark. I mean,
just keep
do you guys
going,
want to
bro.
go? Do you guys want to go brighter, or do you want to like? I don't know. I don't want it to be like become a drag when people are like, "Oh man, why we got to talk about that?" All right, so let's just go cut.
Nobody
to
say
Steve
that.
Harvey.
Just go.
I'm not saying us. Let's
Well,
cut to
feels
the
that way.
Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey recently made headlines
Oh no.
talking about men and women cannot be friends. Platonic friends. He says at some point that the man has
Ulterior motive.
ulterior motives that he wants to have sex with the woman if he becomes friends with her, hoping like at some point she'll leave a door open for him to sneak in and stretch him out. How do you guys?
Why did
What do
you have to say
what do
that,
you guys
man?
think about it?
Oh God.
before we even get into that, my regular nickname is Stretch. And if I hear somebody say stretch him out to me, I'm going to come to Florida. I'm going to punch you directly in the mouth.
I mean, we're gonna get that on some t-shirts. We got to get that on t-shirts, man.
That's
That
going to
is
be
hilarious.
the first merch. Stretch
I
him
got you.
out.
Stretch him
It's
out.
hilarious.
Ed,
Stretch him.
So what do you guys
all
think?
fun and game when you got 32 teeth. Ed.
Thoughts? Do you think he's correct? Is he wrong? How do you guys feel?
Who wants to start, gentlemen? Sip tea,
I
Eric?
think he's wrong.
All right, Christian, go ahead.
Well, that's real tea, too.
Elaborate. I want some tea. That sounds.
For me personally, like to me, number one, I think like with a statement like that, it like kind of objectifies women in a sense that men look at women solely as sexual objects, which speaking for myself at least, and I think I speak for everybody here, that we don't look at women as just sexual objects. Like it's kind of like, to me, it's like objectifying women. It's like, well, I'm talking to this woman now. I have to sleep with her. Like that's it. Like it kind of makes it feel like absolute, and I don't like that. And but for me personally speaking, like I have female friends that I can look at and be like, oh, this is my friend. Like I've had female friends to the point where it's been like I've been friends with them so long, like it would be really awkward even if I were to try something. So it's like I wouldn't want to like damage that part of our friendship. Like things are too nice for me to like muddy these things up. So I think he's wrong in a fundamental sense.
Deli?
I was gonna call Dellz a name just now, but I'm not gonna do that. I ain't gonna do it.
He's a nice
That's
guy.
why he laughed like that. That's why you had the evil laugh a little bit, just a little bit.
I don't agree with it,
Hey.
but I only don't agree with it because I'm not gonna sit here and on camera and be like, oh, well, sometimes that don't cross someone's mind. But it's not the case for every man. I can't speak for every man in the world. I have many female friends. I don't have female friends just waiting, just like to pounce and
Lord.
and go to town. Like I don't see how you can generalize that statement and say, well, if you are friends, then the guy is just waiting to have sex with you. Because what if we're just friends and the girl's just waiting to have sex with me? Like who are we to say who wants to have sex with whom in the first place? Like
I agree with that.
you can't I don't think you could generalize
Sexual attraction.
Yeah, you can't. Like you don't know why the girl's friends with me. Just like you wouldn't know why I'm friends with the girls. And that's
Sometimes girls are just a homie.
Exactly. I have a couple homie friends, you know? And for you to sit there and say, well, for Mr. Harvey to sit there and say, well, you know, if you give that man the open door, he's just gonna take it, is not fair.
I mean,
as a man, I've said no before.
I can agree with that point. Like, as a man, if given the opportunity and a woman is throwing it at you,
I've said no before. I mean,
in their right mind, was just deny it, unless they care about the friendship more than lust or their urges. But
so you agree with Steve?
No, not that men and women can't be friends. No, but that point you just said that if a man is given an opportunity by a female, like if a female throws it at you, I feel like 9 times out of 10 you're gonna jump on that, unless there's a reason you wouldn't.
I think it like has to be
type of thing.
I think you have to like take into account like the initial
friendship,
intention,
like how it started.
Yeah, of like in a relationship. Like I have like coworkers that I've become really close friends with, and it's like close, like I'm close friends. Like,
oh
period.
shit, I'm cursing. Well, for y'all.
Complains about cursing and then says, "Oh shit, I'm cursing." Anyway,
I didn't complain about cursing.
No, I
tell you, sir.
Excuse me, sir. But like, just to stay on topic, like I've have like coworkers that I'm like really close with as coworkers as friends, so I don't violate that boundary. But like, there have been women that I've been attracted to, or whatever have you. Like personally speaking, there's been women that I've been attracted to, and it's like, you know,
I think we all been through that.
Yeah, like, you know, that this particular example has happened.
I mean, like even in that case, it's like, are you guys really friends, or are you guys more so coworkers?
But it's like I'm not like just like he makes it seem like men are just like waiting, like like just waiting. Like I never
like
did that or whatever have you.
Like dogs, everybody don't have that type of mentality. Like everybody's not out here lusting over anything moving.
Yeah, like I'm not sitting there just like watching. Like anytime, like the minute that like something goes wrong, like I'm just gonna swoop in there.
Yeah, like
he make it seem like it's predatory. That's the thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's crazy.
We're gonna go out to drink.
Like,
I'm gonna take you home.
For somebody to mess up or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
I agree with you guys.
I just feel like he just said it
Elaborate.
But
what was that?
I think you
felt
guys
like somebody said something wrong. What you said? I didn't hear you, Dellz.
Oh yeah, Deli, what you said?
What you just said?
I said something. That was BJ.
Yeah, you just said somebody said something wrong. You felt like somebody said something wrong.
No, I said.
Okay.
I said I agree with you guys that you guys all make solid points.
Elaborate.
And, you know, it may. What do you mean? You guys said everything I would say.
What particular?
Nah, you got to give us your take on that, bro. You want to hear what you got to say?
You have a different perspective than us.
Yeah.
Don't just do all the above type situation.
Circumstance.
I mean, it is an all the above situation because you guys all hit on very separate points that all pretty much sum up what how I feel toward it. I mean, you can definitely be friends with a woman and not have the intention of sleeping with her. Cause it's not like every girl you see, like, oh yeah, she look good. I'm gonna get, like, if she give me the chance, I'm gonna hit it. Like, there's some girls you're just not attracted to that are pretty just cool with her, just like, oh, you the homie. So, I mean, that's how I feel about it.
Well put, sir.
Thanks.
Well put.
Kudos, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
all golf clap for that answer.
BJ, press the button. Make it do a
I don't got no
soundboard
buttons.
thing.
Why you ain't got no buttons?
Because we're going away from the buttons.
We used
We're
the
going away
buttons
from the
for
buttons.
one episode.
Yeah, I didn't like the way it sounded, so I was like, I'm not going to do the buttons.
No, we need. You just
next
gotta
topic.
adjust the levels, the volume.
I'll
Some
figure
of
it
the
out.
sounds came louder. Some of them were too
Yeah,
long.
yes.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that was your thing. Some of them were too long.
Okay,
Some of them
can
were
I-
perfectly fine.
Do you guys feel comfortable staying around this subject, or
Yeah, we're fine. I mean,
Okay,
we could go on to the next one, though.
question? Can I ask a question? Do you guys feel like
Okay.
you feel like you can be friends with someone you had sex with?
Yes.
it's
Eric?
possible. Yes, it's possible. I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna just say some of my in my history, in my book, that hasn't been the case because we didn't leave on good terms. I'll put it that way. But I think it is possible.
Hey, all right. So I guess we're going to transition into the George Floyd Policing Act.
That doesn't.
You guys want to lead me off?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be quiet.
So what the George Floyd bill is it's a bill that it aims to end certain like police tactics when policing. For example, you can't use any type of chokeholds or anything that restricts the neck. Also, it looks to increase like funding when it comes to like police training in regards to like racial sensitivity and cultural inclusion. In a nutshell.
I like what Eric had said the other podcast when he was saying that police officers need to be more involved in the communities that they're policing, and that's kind of would build the trust back in the community, because it's like, okay, I know this officer because I see him every day. He goes out his way, checks to say, hey, how you guys doing? You guys all right? It's not just something like, hey, I'm here to enforce the law and you need to listen to me. It should be more of a give and a take kind of relationship. Like, hey, like, we know you're coming into our community and you're not here to cause any trouble. You're just here to keep us safe. Versus them approaching it as like, it's like a war zone in this neighborhood and I'm the only thing keeping it above water.
Yeah, it's like militant. It's too militant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just want to add to that I feel like the police officers that are hired should be from that community. It shouldn't be outsiders being hired to come in.
I mean,
not knowing anything about that damn community.
Well, yeah,
and they're just raising hell.
But do you think a lot of people from those communities want to become
because again, that goes back to
that's the thing.
I don't know, but that goes back to the point that you was just talking about that communal thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know this hood,
like back in the day,
and I want to become an officer. So my approach to this work is going to be different than somebody coming from Westchester to, let's say, Brooklyn, and being real militant and everything you speaking of.
I feel like if you're gonna have police based off their backgrounds, you should know where they come from. And if they come from a similar background, they could be placed in a similar area because they expect the same thing. And what I was going to say before that is, even
that's
with,
what I mean. Yeah,
like there's no such thing as like career fairs anymore. Like I can't remember the last time I've heard about a career fair where there's cops there or.
They're still happening.
But I think that's the issue. I think that a lot of the communities that the police presence is heavy in, there's a bad relationship with the police, thus meaning that a lot of kids don't want to become police officers. So once you start, getting the guy, even though he's not from there, that comes in and honestly just wants to help, it kind of would help the kids in the community look up and be like, okay, this guy actually cares. He's trying to actually make a difference, even though he's not from here. I'm from here. Why can't I be, that presence in my own neighborhood that I grew up in?
Like,
But it has
even
to
with-
start somewhere.
But when that usually happens, I feel like there's lack of cultural awareness.
I think it's like
Yeah.
even
You're not aware of who
Like-
you're dealing with. You're just going off of what the
Asian hate corresponds to the George Floyd Policing Act.
I mean, I feel like, yes, I would love Asians to be protected because due to COVID-19, they've been attacked more so than
Yeah, I've
they
seen
were
that.
being attacked. But I will say, as a black man, we've been fighting for these same freedoms and liberties for
since we
over
got here.
400 years, but we still have not gotten anything. And it's kind of extreme to see to see a group of people, another group of people, get more liberties and freedoms and protection than us, in the middle of us fighting for these same liberties.
Especially so quickly.
Yes. While the George Floyd Police Reform Act was in Congress already, like it was already sitting there. The bill was already drafted, and nothing. This start happening. All the Asians getting attacked start happening. Asian. What is it called?
Stop Asian hate.
The Asian Hate Protection Act, something like that. Don't quote me. But that passed pretty much instantly, with no pushback from anyone. It passed.
But that just goes to show. That just goes to show who the people that are in the office have
Prioritize.
loyalty to.
Yep.
Yeah, prioritize.
But
And we've been suffering.
I
We getting
mean-
killed every other couple days. But once something happens with this said community, look how fast things change. We're at the bottom of the totem pole. Wow, which is crazy, which is unfortunate as far as America goes and racism and all that stuff. But
I just don't understand how you could.
I don't know.
How you can see all of
It's
this
crazy.
happening and say that America is not racist.
Oh yeah, that's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole other pod.
Nah.
That's a
This is
whole
America.
Get into
other
that.
pod.
Somebody call Childish Gambino. Let them know we riding.
What? Out of all the people, that's
This
who
video,
we call it?
This is America.
Oh,
He has a song, This Is America.
okay. I get it.
Where
I'm
you saw
sorry.
that going?
Yo,
I thought he was like a superhero.
the
or something.
symbolism and the images and stuff you see in that video is crazy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But it makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
All right.
That man is a genius, a creative genius.
You guys have any closing thoughts? Got it all out. Any, by the way?
I'm wearing this shirt for a reason. Because I knew we were going to talk about stuff like this. Just a reminder to people that this young man's name, relates to all of us, and these things need to be addressed. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
Yeah, people need to keep fighting the fight. Stay woke. Stay woke. You hear me?
You know,
Protect black
also
people.
has a
Stay
song called
woke.
"Stay Woke"
Wow.
with Childish Gambino.
Now let me stop.
My eyes got super wide when he said that. That's why I giggled. Stay woke.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next time.